Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to another Supatease video, and this is a very important video. In this one, we are going to know a lot about which class is going to be the strongest in 10.1. This video is going to cover all of the new set bonuses for the class, which we've already been teased a little bit, is going to have a lot more impact on how your class is going to play and likely how your class is going to perform. So my expectations here are pretty high on how crazy these things are going to be. And of course, you want to stay up to date with news, education, and entertainment related to World of Warcraft, then do make sure to hit the subscribe button. Your support is greatly appreciated. But let's get started here. We got a lot of set bonuses to work through. So you can say that in the introduction, they've spoke about how set bonuses had relatively low impact on gameplay and rotations. I don't feel like this is true entirely for every class. Some definitely had some, very minor effects, but things like the Balanced Druid set bonuses, they're completely redesigning the class because of how much of an impact they had. So this is definitely not consistent. But the one thing that they did really note is that this time they're going to be really hammering in to enhancing certain talents and certain builds with these incoming set bonuses. So talents that might have otherwise you maybe never selected or you never really looked at in Season 1, you might want to keep an eye on. So for set bonuses here, let's get started. We got Death Knight as the first one. Let's see what kind of juiciness you're going to be expecting to see. For Blood, we're going to be two set bonuses. Heart Strike and Blood Boil deal 20% increased damage and have a 10% chance to grant Vampiric Blood. Is that not your wall effect? I mean, that's an insane amount of damage scaling. 4-set bonus, when you would gain Vampiric Blood, you are infused with Vampiric Strength, granting you 10% strength for 5 seconds. Your Heart Strike and Blood Boil extend the duration of Vampiric Strength by a half second. This thing's got to get nerfed. That's crazy. What? You're going to have a chance to proc it and then extend it and chain it together, and all of your damage is going to be way higher. Blood looking pretty scary with those set bonuses. For Frost Death Knight, Howling Blast and Frost Fever damage are going to be increased by 10%. Your Rime-empowered Howling Blast reduce the cooldown of your Frostworm's Fury by 2 seconds. So sustained damage and cooldown reduction. 4-set bonus, after consuming Rime 15 times, you call down Frostworm's Fury on your target at 100% effectiveness. You're going to be proccing dragons. I procced full moons in Season 1. You guys are going to be proccing dragons. I'm not going to lie, yours sounds a lot more fun. Now for Unholy Death Knights, we're going to be seeing Death Coil and Epidemic damage increase by 10%. I love that they're focusing on kind of these consistent rotation abilities, amplifying their damage, as opposed to things like Obliterate for Death Knight, which is already really spiky, focusing on abilities that maybe their damage was lower, bringing it up. I think this is a really good direction for the set bonuses. Casting Death Coil or Epidemic grants a stack of Master of Death. At 20 stacks, Master of Death is consumed, and you gain 15% mastery for 20 seconds. Oh my, that's a lot of stats, man. So anything orienting around Death Coil likely going to be pretty desirable here in 10.1. Your set bonus, your 4-set bonus, when Death Coil or Epidemic consumes Sudden Doom, you gain 2 stacks of Master of Death or increase the mastery bonus to 25% for 5 seconds. So this is going to be a lot of damage here for Unholy Death Knight, and specifically focusing on Epidemic and Death Coil means any talents oriented around those are going to be a lot more valuable as well if they weren't previously. For Demon Hunters, what are you guys getting, man? Demon Hunter is always something nuts. 2-set bonus, every 200 Fury you spend, you gain Seething Fury, which is going to increase your agility by 8% for 6 seconds. And your 4-set bonus, each time you gain Seething Fury, you're also going to gain 15 Fury, and the damage of your next I-Beam is increased 12%, stacking up to 5 times. We might see some I-Beam build Demon Hunters here, because think about how much of an increase that's going to possibly be. If you can get that actually up to 5 times, like that I-Beam could be really scary. That's going to feel really good in PvE. In PvP, if people know that I-Beam is about to happen, it's also a modifier stacking issue in PvP. You might get shut down quite a lot on it. Or you're going to have to play with the Paladin or Master Easy or something crazy. So really focusing around I-Beam. It seems like a lot of these set bonuses are focusing around talents maybe that were not taken as much in Season 1. For Vengeance, Soul Fragments are going to heal you for 10% more. And generating a Soul Fragment is going to increase your fire damage by 2% for 6 seconds. Multiple applications may overlap. And your 4-set bonus, Shear and Fracture deal fire damage. And after consuming 20 Soul Fragments, your next cast of Shear or Fracture applies Fiery Brand to the target for 6 seconds. So some personal mitigation here, personal healing, and a minor increase to damage here for Vengeance. Boomkin. This is my spec. What's going on with my spec here? I don't really like this first one, but maybe I do. Wait, never mind. I think I do. Set bonus. Sunfire radius is increased by 2 yards. We don't really... It doesn't matter, but this next part, Sunfire, Moonfire, and Shooting Stars damage increased by 18%. We like the dots. We like dots. 4-set bonus. Shooting Stars has a 20% chance to call down a crashing star, dealing 72% of attack power, astral damage to the target, and generating 5 astral power. The damage of crashing star is about 4 times the damage of a shooting star. So we're going to be full moon procking people, stars procking on people, and crashing stars procking on people. We're getting lots of procs and dots. We like procs and dots. I'm pretty happy with that, to be honest. I was a bit worried, but I'm actually pretty happy with that. Feral Druids, what are you looking at? Your 2-set bonus. Your auto attacks have a chance to grant Shadows of the Predator, increasing your agility by 1%. Each application past 5 has an increased chance to reset to 2 stacks. So just some baseline agility for sustained damage. That's, I think, a good direction for the game. Your 4-set bonus. When a Shadows of the Predator application resets, you are going to gain 5% increased agility, and you will generate 1 combo point every 1.5 seconds for 6 seconds. So likely going to be able to feed you in to a chain reaction of ferocious bites or bleed applications at that point for free, and saving you a lot of energy. So decent one here for Feral. Not absolutely crazy. For Guardian Druid, your 2-set bonus, when you take damage, Mangle and Thrash and Rage Generation are increased by 15% for 8 seconds, and you will heal for 6% of the damage taken over 8 seconds. That's really OP, I think. I think that's really OP. Your 4-set bonus, Maul/Raise damage, increased by 20%. So those Maul modifiers might be coming back here for Guardian. And casting Iron Fur or Maul/Raise will increase your maximum health by 3% for 12 seconds, stacking up to 5 times. So base health increase, lots of damage. These tank specs are going to be really scary here. At least looks like for Guardian and Blood Death Knight so far. Resto Druid. This is a spec that's getting hit pretty hard, honestly, in 10.0.7. So what are you doing to me here with the set bonuses with Resto Druid? Rejuvenation and Life Plume healing increased by 15%. Oh, okay. You're doing that. Regrowth healing over time also increased by 75%. Okay. This might make up for the talents that you're taking away from me. 4-set bonus. Flourish increases the rate. No, they had to pick Flourish. Increases the rate of your heal over time effects by 40% for an additional 16 seconds after it ends. And Verdant Infusion, oh wait, it's double whammy here, causes your Swiftmend target to gain 15% increased healing from you for 6 seconds. Interesting. I'm for some reason I'm spacing out on what Verdant Infusion is right now. If that's the extra proc heal from when you Swiftmend a target. So interesting to see. I don't really like Flourish. So not the just healing raw output on this is insane. And then this extra healing could be nice as well for single target healing. Devastation Evokers, what are they doing for you? Because you've been kind of like, stuck in a weird spot where you're either bursting people or you're doing nothing. So your 2-set bonus, Disintegrate and Pyre, pierce enemies with obsidian shards, dealing 12% of damage done as volcanic damage, getting a dot. I like that. Now for your 4-set bonus, empowered spells deal 8% increased damage and cause the obsidian shards to become supercharged, dealing 200% more damage for 5 seconds. During Dragon's Rage, shards are always supercharged. So you're getting dots incorporated into your class, which is a layer that you didn't previously have, which could be really scary with Disintegrate for single target, and even Pyre for AoE. This could be really gnarly for Devastation Evoker. Preservation, Spirit Bloom is going to apply a heal over time effect for 40% of the healing done over 8 seconds, and Dream Breath healing is just increased by 15%. Your 4-set bonus, after casting 3 Empower spells, gain Essence Burst immediately and another 3 seconds later. So a lot of proc throughput here, and just a lot of throughput in general for Preservation. For Beast Mastery Hunters, we are seeing Cobra Shot and Kill Command damage increased by 15%. Your set bonuses are as simple as your class, Beast Mastery Hunters. Your 4-set bonus, Cobra Shot, Kill Command, and Multi-Shot reduce the cooldown of Bestial Wrath. Oh, that's scary. That is scary. That is really, oh my god, that is scary. Oh my god, BM Hunter is scary. Okay, that is scary. We're moving on. That's too scary. That's too spooky. Marksmanship Hunter, Arcane Shot and Chimera Shot and Multi-Shot are going to deal 10% increased damage and have an 8% chance to grant you Death Blow effect. I'm going to be real. I don't know what Death Blow effect is. Marksmanship Hunters, you guys need to let me know. 4-set bonus. Kill shot damage is increased by 15%, and kill shot reduces the cooldown of your rapid fire and aim shot by a half of a second. Interesting. So a lot of like execute power coming in for Marksmanship Hunter here in 10.0, which honestly it's kind of neat because they're reducing the crit modifiers in PvP. So getting some sustained damage and kill pressure is going to be pretty important, I think, for classes. Survival Hunter, Wildfire Bomb damage increased by 10%. Were you really expecting not to see Wildfire Bomb on a Survival Hunter set bonus? And throwing a Wildfire Bomb increases the damage of your next kill command by 50%. Set bonus, every 25 focus you spend reduces the cooldown of your Wildfire Bomb by 1 second. So you're going to be able to feed into that chain of bomb into kill command for some nice burst damage that you didn't previously have for single target. For Arcane Mages, Arcane Surge is going to increase your spell damage by an additional 5%, and its duration is increased by 3 seconds. So more damage on your burst. 4-set bonus, for every 20,000 mana spent during Arcane Surge, your spell damage is increased by 1% for 12 seconds after it fades, stacking up to 30 times. I mean, can you spend that much mana? You guys got to tell me how much mana you're expected to spend in an Arcane Surge window. But this means that your damage is going to linger for a while after the cooldowns, which means you're likely going to be a little more threatening than you are currently in PvP, which is going to be important if they're slowing down the game overall. So interesting take on this. It's going to mean really maximizing your time during the Arcane Surge window. For Fire Mage, what are we getting here? Phoenix Flames applies charring embers to all enemies it damages, increasing their damage taken from you by 6% for 10 seconds. Your 4-set bonus, when your direct damage spells hit an enemy affected by charring embers 30 times, you will gain hypothermia for 6 seconds. Hyperthermia. That's not the you can't block thing. This is something else. What is that? What is hyperthermia? Is this a talent, Fire Mages? You guys let me know. You guys let me know how crazy that is, because I'm assuming that is not the thing that doesn't let you block, because otherwise things might get pretty scary here. But just a lot of sustained damage, it looks like, for Fire Mage. Good direction for the game. Frost Mage, Flurry and Frostbolt damage increased by 20%. Flurry causes an explosion on impact, dealing 50% of its damage to nearby enemies. Damage reduced beyond 5 targets. So getting some cleave damage as well. Casting Ice Lance on a frozen target has an 8% chance to trigger Brain Freeze. So more Brain Freeze procs. Really solid set bonuses for Frost Mage here in 10.1. For Brewmaster Monk, Blackout Kicks damage is increased by 20%. You have a 10% chance to not reset your elusive stacks on a successful dodge. Your set bonus, your 4-set, Rising Sun Kick grants a stack of elusive brawler. When you dodge, damage, and critically strike, chance of your next Blackout Kick or Rising Sun Kick is increased by 5%. So more sustained burst damage oriented around Brewmaster. I don't know if this sounds as crazy as Guardian or Death Knight so far, as far as all the tanks are concerned. Mistweaver Monk, Renewing Mist has a chance to grant Soul Fang Infusion, granting 5% of your maximum mana over 6 seconds. Oh, you are never running out of mana. You are never, ever, ever running out of mana. 4-set bonus, drinking a tea. I mean, you already didn't run out of mana as Fist Weaving, so is that really that good? 4-set bonus, drinking a tea or gaining Soul Fang Infusion increases the healing of your Vivify and Renewing Mists by 40%. You gotta purge these Renewing Mists. I mean, you weren't really ooming in the first place. 40% healing on your hot is pretty nice for throughput, but this might just be overkill just because you don't run out of mana anyways. I guess if you're running a standard non-Fistweaver build, it'd be pretty nice. You probably just never no matter what build you're playing. For Windwalker Monks, Rising Sun Kick deals increased damage and has a chance to go Nova, dealing fire damage to all enemies. Ooh, that's kind of good and bad, because that's going to break crowd control. But if you get people stacked on a leg sleep and you're getting cleave damage on your Rising Sun Kick, that's pretty nasty. For your 4-set bonus, your melee auto attacks have a chance to launch a Shadow Flame Spirit at your enemy that duplicates your next 3 abilities at X% effectiveness. You're just going to be throwing out Shadow Clone Jutsu and proccing extra attacks from them. I mean, that could be really good for sustained damage. That's definitely something that Windwalker needed. That's pretty cool. I like that one. For Paladin, 2-set bonus, Holy Shock's critical strikes heal for 15% more and reduce the cooldown of Light's Hammer by 2 seconds, and Holy Prism for 1. Your 4-set bonus, Light's Hammer heals 100% more frequently and generates 1 holy power every 4 seconds. Holy Prism's healing is increased by 80%, and it generates 1 holy power if cast on an enemy target, or 3 if cast on an ally. So really focusing around these 2 abilities, Light's Hammer and Holy Prism, which previously, at least in PvP, I don't think you were too stoked about casting. Maybe you will be. Maybe these numbers are big enough that you will be. But I'm kind of like initially like, meh. Because these are just abilities that have not historically done too well in PvP. For Prop Paladin, Avenger's Shield causes target struck to burn with Heartfire, dealing an additional 20% of damage over 5 seconds, and Heartfire will heal you for 100% of the damage it deals. Your 4-set bonus, Judgment Critical Strikes, can trigger Grand Crusader. So this is a lot of throughput. That is a lot of throughput for Prop Paladins. Captain Avenger here, or Captain America, sorry, moving in and doing a bunch of damage. For Rep Paladins, you're getting that rework, and what are you getting for set bonuses on top of it? Judgment and Hammer of Wrath deal 10% increased damage and 20% increased critical strike damage. Your 4-set bonus, Judgment, increases the damage enemies take from your Holy Power spenders by an additional 5%. And Hammer of Wrath will also apply Judgment to enemies. So really focusing around Hammer of Wrath builds, it seems like, for Retribution Paladins, which could be really scary, especially maybe in combination with the Marksmanship Hunter kill range that we just saw for their set bonuses. For Priest, Discipline Priest, casting Penance on an enemy also heals a nearby ally for 20% of the effectiveness. Casting Penance on an ally will then also damage a nearby enemy for 35% of effectiveness. For your 4-set bonus, every 3 casts of Penance grants you Shadow Covenant for 5 seconds and converts that Penance to a Shadow spell. So you're going to be able to get access to Shadow Covenant without speccing into Shadow Covenant. Penance builds are going to be very important, it seems like. If you remember the machine gun builds at the end of Shadowlands, that could be really fun here for Discipline Priest. For Holy Priest, Prayer of Mending has a 20% chance to duplicate to another nearby target when it jumps. And your 4-set bonus, when Prayer of Mending jumps, it increases the damage and healing of your next Holy Word by 4%, stacking up to 15 times. You could get some really big heals and damage out if this thing is duplicating and jumping and duplicating and jumping. That could be really crazy for Holy Priest. For Shadow, when consuming Shadowy Insight, Mind Blast deals 60% increased damage and generates 4 additional insanity. And your 4-set bonus, every 400 insanity spent summons a Shadow Fiend or Mindbender for 5 seconds. Shadow's getting a complete rework in this patch, so I'm sure that this set bonus is probably going to change over time. It seems like they really want to focus on like your burst with Mind Blast and potentially Shadow Fiend builds, with the emphasis on these 2 abilities in the set bonus. For Rogues, for Assassination, your 2-set bonus, Rupture and Crimson Tempest, are going to deal 33% damage as Nature. And for your 4-set bonus, when Deathmark expires, nature damage you deal is increased by 40% for 30 seconds. So taking the damage and just extending the cooldown window even longer than it currently is, which means your damage will still stay at a high margin for quite a long duration. So focusing a little bit more on nature and poisons, it seems like, for Assassination Rogues. Outlaw Rogue, damage you inflict applies a Soul Rip, dealing 5% of all damage you deal as physical damage over 8 seconds. Getting a dot is Outlaw. 4-set bonus, Between the Eyes unleashes all Soul Rips, dealing 200% of the remaining damage and granting 7% agility for 15 seconds. That could be really cool, getting a dot and then blasting that dot for a lot of burst damage. For Subtlety Rogue, Shadow Dance is going to grant you Symbols of Death for 10 seconds and extends the duration of Rupture by 4 seconds. So you're going to be able to use your Symbols of Death in other windows? Your 4-set bonus, Symbols of Death, increases the critical strike damage of Eviscerate and Black Powder by 15%. So more burst damage on your Eviscerate, more Eviscerate-oriented builds. For Elemental Shaman, set bonus, you're going to gain Stormkeeper every 40 seconds. You're going to what? You're going to what? You're just going to get Stormkeeper and just boom, boom. What is the 4-set bonus? For 8 seconds after you consume a Stormkeeper, your Lightning Bolt, Lava Burst, Ice Fury, and Frost Shock generate 100% more Maelstrom, and your Chain Lightning, Lava Beam, and Earthquake critical strike damage is increased by 20%. Ellie Shaman wins the set bonus. You win. You win. You win. You're going to get so many Earth Shocks off this, and you're just going to get Stormkeeper for free outside of your normal Stormkeeper window? What? You win. You win. I mean, we haven't even looked at the rest, and I'm saying that you win. For Enhancement Shamans, Sundering is going to increase your mastery by 12%, so more focused around Sundering. 4-set bonus, when Sundering hits a single target, you will deal 30% increased physical damage for 15 seconds, and when Sundering strikes 2 or more, your next Chain Lightning deals 50% increased damage and refunds 100% of the Maelstrom weapon stacks consumed. So you get like a double tap chain lightning. Could be really good in PvE. In PvP, you'd probably ideally want to hit one target. So if you can't hit one, it's probably going to feel kind of meh. But really focusing around that sundering window. Unfortunately, this means that your sundering now is going to go from like somewhat like crowd control utility to like throughput cooldown, but then maybe you weigh the pros and cons of it, so it could be an interesting trade-off. For Resto Shaman, looks like they're doubling down on the rain here. It's rain and shamans. When you cast Healing Rain, all allies with Riptide on them are healed by the Tide Waters for 140% of the spell power, and your 4-step bonus, each ally healed by Tide Waters increases your haste by 1% for 6 seconds, and increases the healing of your next Riptide by 10%. Okay, so really hammering on this Healing Rain build. Likely going to have to be something that you're going to want to incorporate here for 10.1. For Warlocks, for Affliction, what are we getting here? 2-step bonus. Vile Taint. Oh, we hate seeing that word. Reduced by 5 seconds, and Phantom Singularity reduced by 12 seconds. Vile Taint and Phantom Singularity damage are being increased by 60%. Both of these abilities are not my favorite abilities in the game on Afflock, so I'm just like immediately turned off. 4-step bonus. Enemies damaged by Phantom Singularity gain Infirmity for its duration, and enemies damaged by Vile Taint gain Infirmity for 10 seconds, which increases the damage taken by 10%. The 4-step bonus technically applies Infirmity for 2 seconds every time an enemy is damaged by Phantom Singularity. Phantom Singularity deals damage over 2 seconds, so this has the effect of keeping Infirmity on targets for its duration. So just flat out 10% more damage on your Phantom Singularity. I mean, I wonder if Vile Taint ends up being a bit better here, but not really a big fan of those, honestly. Kind of, I would almost say this is the worst ones, at least when it comes to PvP. For Demonology, your Demon Bolt damage is increased by 15%. Consuming a Demonic Core reduces the cooldown of your Grimoire Felguard by 1 second. And your 4-step bonus is Grimoire Felguard deals 40% more damage and empowers your active demons, increasing their damage by 20% while active. Your Pit Daddy is getting pretty big. Oh my god, your Tyrant is getting pretty. Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Demo, you got a good one, man. Afflock, you're kind of. Demo, you got a good one. That's a good one. Destrolock, what are we looking at here? 2-step bonus. Channel Demon Fire Bolts, Immolate, and Incinerate have a 20% chance to fire an additional Channel Demon Fire Bolt. Okay, a little bit of extra proc damage. Set bonus, after casting 15 Demon Fire Bolts, your next Demon Fire Bolt deals 103% of the spell power as Shadow Flame damage to the target, and 35% of spell power, Shadow Flame damage to enemies within 8 yards. So it's just kind of extra procking damage on your rotation. Yeah, I mean, this thing could just do an insane amount of damage. Destra's already really strong right now, so definitely better than the AF one. In my view, at least. For Arms Warrior, Deep Wounds is going to increase your chance to critically strike, and critical strike damage dealt to afflicted targets by 10%. Your 4-step bonus, Deep Wounds critical strikes have a chance to increase the damage of your next slam. But it's 10 times, 250%, and cause it to strike up to 4 additional targets for 50% more damage. Bro, what? Are you just gonna send out a slam dunk and destroy everything in front of you? I mean, slam's gonna go from like the most useless ability to just absolutely insane with this, possibly. The chance for the 4-step bonus to trigger its effect increases at a diminishing rate for each target beyond the first. This is similar to the effects of spells like Agony and Shooting Stars. For Fury Warrior, 2-step bonus, Rampage damage and chance to critically strike increase by 10%. It's flat out damage, not bad. Rampage critical strikes against your primary target cause your next Bloodthirst to deal 50% increased damage, generate 2 additional rage, stacking up to 4 times. It also has a 100% chance to critically strike. Okay, that's going to be a really scary Bloodthirst hit. That's going to be a really scary Bloodthirst hit here for Fury. So pretty decent set bonuses for Fury. Your set bonuses for Prop Warrior. Shield Slam is going to deal 15% increased damage and reduce the cooldown of Last Stand by half second. During Last Stand, these effects are doubled. Ooh, you're getting really big Shield Slam hits during Last Stand then. Your 4-step bonus, for 10 seconds after Last Stand ends, Shield Slam unleashes a wave of force, dealing damage to enemies in front of you, and reduces damage they deal to you by 5% for 5 seconds. So extra throughput here. I feel like Guardian and Blood still probably getting the best of the deal here for set bonuses as far as tanks. Playtesting and providing feedback. The bonuses above will become available for testing in the Embers of Neltharion PTR over the coming weeks. We expect the first few sets you'll see on the PTR to be Death Knight, Havoc, Demon Hunter, Druid, Mage, Brewmaster, Monk, and Holy and Prop Paladin. Look for Setzer near the current PvP and Professions vendor Orgrimmar and Storm City. Please share bugs you find via the in-game bug reporting tool and your feedback about the bonuses in this thread. So This is a lot. Ellie Shaman, definitely the winners here. Pretty stoked about the Boomkin one. The only one that like really felt kind of flat was the Aflock one. I think it's just because it's targeting. And maybe the enhancement one, the Sundering one, it's not like too spectacular, but I think a majority of these are hitting a really fun window for the classes, or just a crazy amount of power overall to look forward to and be excited about. So I hope that you've enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed the update. Let me know what you think here about the set bonuses in the comments down below. Is it getting you excited for your class, or maybe excited to reroll to something else? Other than that, thank you very much for watching the video, and I will catch you in the next one.